Okay. Well, good morning, story seekers. Here we are on the morning after solstice. My face has been lit up by the sun. I don't know if you can. You can make a bit of it out there. The sun has not long risen. It's a beautiful sunrise, and we are on the Barrows in Dibden. You can see that behind me there is it's a large double barrow. From above it looks like a figure of 8, whether it was two that have over time have just merged into one, or it was built that way, I don't know. Beyond that is a smaller barrow. I'm on the highest one. You can just see around me a little bit where we are. It's frosty, as you can see the frost on the ground. I'll put you down now. I'll try and get you seeing the sun. There we go. You've seen the sun in the foreground there, or in the background as it is now. Try and place this properly. There we go. I'm going to stand. Place it there. Oh, ow. Got a thistle somewhere. You don't want to get a thistle. But, moon gone. I was hoping to have had the moon behind me as we're telling this story. There's the moon. Place you there. Okay. Obviously, the budget I'm on, nothing is taken for granted. There are no shortages whatsoever. We've got the highest tech going. Anyway, well, a story for the winter solstice, I think. And this is a story. There's no pictures on this one, so I can't be sharing photographs. Watch the sun come up on these old barrows, the old ancestral barrows, from the people here in the Tyne on this Isle of Albion. I'm trying to recall if it's the Beaker people or not. It's a beautiful setting on these barrows. They're good examples, quite high ring and saucer barrows. They've got a ditch all the way around them. It is a real nice feeling, apart from the cars in the background. It's quite nice here. It's somewhere we come quite regular. But to tell stories of the winter solstice, winter time, the time when these ancestors who's buried in these barrows here, they may well have been looking, is that sun going to return? They'd have had the longest night last night. It was a cold one, and they'd have been praying for the sun. Who knows? Maybe they sat here, the people who descended from these ancestral people whose barrow I'm sat on now. Maybe they came and sat and watched this sunrise. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. And here's a story it's a book called The Return of Light, by a Carolyn McVickar Edwards, and it's a collection of tales. She didn't write the tales, it's a collection of tales. And the story I'm going to read out from all these ones is the one called The Lightkeepers Box, and it's from Waraho, well, not to pronounce that one right, but from Venezuela. So we shall have that story. I hope you're all sitting comfortably and not sitting with thistles up your bum like I am. Anyway, here we go then. So at the beginning of the world, by the waters of the Orinoco River, there was no day. The people had only wooden torches to light their villages. By the flicker of their fires, neither day nor night truly existed. In the midst of one village lived a chief with 2 daughters. News came to the chief of a man somewhere who kept the light. The man called to his older daughter and said, "Go and see where this young lightkeeper is and bring some light to me." Then he blew on her face so the Hebus of the bush, water and sky might leave her safe. The Hebus, I believe to be the bad spirits, things like that. The young woman, wearing a most lovely apron, packed herself a small sack and left. Just outside the village she found many roads on which to travel. She didn't know which one to take. the one she finally chose led to the house of Deer. He greeted her with his soft eyes and antlers like fuzzy tree branches above his smooth ears, and she stayed with Deer a long time, laughing, talking and loving with him. And when at last she returned to her father, however, she did not have the light. The father then decided to send his younger daughter. "Go and see where the young lightkeeper is and bring some light to me." He blew on her face. "I will play my flute for you too," he said. The young woman combed out her hair and set off. She too came to the many roads and could not decide which one to take. But she heard the faint sound of her father's flute, and a feeling about the roads crept over her. They seemed to have faces, and she chose the one that seemed strong and old. Finally, after much walking, she came to the house of the lightkeeper. The lightkeeper's face was as young as the road had seemed old. "I have come to meet you," she said, "and to get from you some light for my father." "And I have been waiting for you," said the lightkeeper. "Now that you have arrived, come, stay with me." The young man took up a box, made of tightly woven leaves that he had at his side. Carefully, so that the dreams inside would not spill out, he opened it. The light coloured his sinewy arms brown and his teeth white. It poured a sheen over her black hair and dark eyes. And so the young woman had discovered the light. After showing it to her, the young man closed the lid of the leaf box. But every day the lightkeeper opened the box, so that he and the young woman could themselves enjoy in the light. They laughed and played sweetly as honey wine. But it happened that one day the young woman remembered she had to return to her father and bring to him what he had sent her to find. The lightkeeper held the woman close. Then, as a present, he gave her the box filled with dreams and light. "I want you to take this with you," he said. The young woman found her father asleep in his hammock. "Father," she whispered, "the Hebus have left me safe. I have brought you light." The chief woke fully and welcomed her. She showed him the light trapped in the leaf box. He hung the box from one of the stilts that held up his house. Its streams drifted out, and the rays of the light touched the crinkled waters of the Orinoco, the fan-shaped leaves of the palm, and the yellow-red fruits of the myrrh. Word spread to all the neighbouring villages that a family down the river had got light. People travelled to see it for themselves. They arrived in their long purple heart bark canoes. Down this channel and that, boats and more boats, filled with people and more people. Everyone packed themselves inside the house of the chief. They marvelled at the light and at the new pictures that came while they slept. The man and his daughters fried fish after shimmering fish for their guests. Even their porch filled with people, until the slim stilts of the house could no longer hold the weight of so many. But since the light's clarity was so much more agreeable than the firelit darkness, no one left. Finally, the chief could not stand so many people. "I am going to end this," he said. "We all want the light, and so here it goes." And with a wonderfully strong toss, he hurled the box and its light into the sky. The body of the light flew to the east, and the box rolled to the west. The body of the light became the sun, and the box, tightly woven of leaves as it was, turned into the moon. On one side was the sun, and on the other side was the moon. But because the chief's throw had been so powerful, the sun and the moon moved very rapidly. The day and the night were very short, with sunrise and sunset following quick upon each other. The chief had an idea. "Bring me," he said to his youngest daughter, "a little turtle." The young woman brought a small grey turtle, cupped in her hands. The father blew on the turtle, and then waited until the sun was just overhead. "Son, I am giving you a present," he called out. "Take this turtle to be your friend. She is yours. I give her to you. Wait for her." And he took up his flute. The little turtle journeyed up to the sun, the sweet notes of the flute warbling beneath her. And because turtles do not hurry, the sun had to wait a long time for his gift. When Turtle finally reached him, Sun walked very slowly across the sky so he might keep step with his new companion. Moon ambled across the sky, so as not to interrupt the beginning of this new friendship. And to this day, when Sun gets up in the morning, almost always he travels at a turtle's pace, so that the day lasts just long enough until the night comes to the world by the Orinoco River. Well, there's a little story about how we got the sun back, and about why it takes so long for the sun to travel. Not quite convinced that's true, but there's a story anyway. And now we just learnt about the flying turtle. I just noticed there is the flying turtle on the book. But yeah, there we go, the Lightkeepers Box. Hope you enjoyed it on this rather cold, frosty day after solstice. It's the nameless day, they call it, a day for the magic of mistletoe. Again, that's another story. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for being with me, thanks for putting up with me. Keep looking at the videos, keep subscribing so you don't miss any. And above all, have fun, and make sure through storytelling and that with your children, you put a little bit of magic in their lives. Thank you.